One of my friend asked me, Birinchi, how to deal with anxiety. And in the first glance, I had no answer. Like I know how to deal with anxiety, but I have no words how to explain it to someone other than me. Like how to deal with anxiety. Like it is something like you know how to do it, but when it comes to teach it to someone, there the challenge arises, because in most of the time we simply can do. Suppose if you are a painter, you can paint a drawing, you can paint a picture skew, but if someone asks you how to paint Mona Lisa, then it is kind of going to be a big challenge for you to teach someone how to do it do it what you are doing. So she she asked me this question over WhatsApp, and again that question was, Biranchi, how to deal with anxiety. And I know how to deal with anxiety, and dealing with anxiety do not have a step by step procedure which you can follow seamlessly and get rid of anxiety. So it was kind of challenge for me to tell her what to do in order to get out of the anxiety. So I tried to make it as much as simple. So I said some of the few basics how to deal with anxiety from my personal experience. Like in majority of the cases, why do we have anxiety? And as much as I know, we we create anxiety. It is not given by anyone else. We create anxiety when we create anxiety by thinking of the future. By thinking of the future, like if you think very far in the future, if you project yourself too far in the future, then there will be definitely a lot of uncertainties. If you are thinking what I will be doing 5 years later, what I will be doing 10 years later, where I will be in 20 years, where I will be in my 30s, then what you are doing is you are thinking of future, too far in future. And since everything is uncertain, and since you are thinking about too far in future, you are projecting yourself too far in future, you will get lots of uncertainties. You will feel like, yeah, I don't know what is going to happen. Then you develop anxiety. And another reason is, and this was the first reason, like we think of the future too, we think too much of the future, that's why we have anxiety. And the second reason we have anxiety is because we try to control the things which we cannot control. Suppose, like, if someone is yelling at you and you can not do anything to it, then stop worrying about it. Suppose you have given your exam for IIT or NEET, and it is not in your hand to decide the results. What you have in your hand was to study well enough, to prepare well enough, to revise well enough, and to give the test at your best. And this was in your hand. And if you are still worrying how much I will get, or whether I will qualify for NEET, whether I will qualify for IIT, that is a very, that will definitely give you anxiety, because you are thinking of a stuff which you cannot control. So I advised her in the similar manner, like, don't think of the future and don't worry about the things you cannot control. And things were very clear. She replied that she was worried about her financial condition, about her career. She was also thinking about how she is going to crack NEET. Sometimes things are complex, we feel lost, we have no clear idea whether we will get anything in return from the efforts we are putting. And she also disclosed that she was feeling low in life. She was having trouble in digesting because she was thinking all the time, and she was losing her health. I think that's a problem because when you when your physical body, your mind is getting affected by anxiety, then I think we should look for a remedy. We should consult for from the elders or from people all over the internet who are good at giving consultations. But one thing I want to very make I one thing that I want to make very clear is that not all kind of anxiety is bad, because some kind of anxiety forces you to take actions. Like suppose if you have no anxiety about the upcoming exam, then you will become irresponsible. As a result, you will not study and you will get very very bad marks, then which might also ruin your career as well. So not all kind of pressure, all kind of anxiety is bad. Sometimes anxiety is good, but when this anxiety crosses its limit and start hurting you, that might be a alarming point. That might be a alert point. That is a red flag. Then we have to look into it. So come back to the topic, how to deal with anxiety. And personally, yes, I do not feel that anxious because I have adopted lot of good habits. I have adopted a right mindset. I'm also consistently working on it, but I can't exactly tell the other person like what to do exactly, that so you can get this result. And I have no idea like how I manage to control my anxiety. But one thing for sure is that if we accept things as they are, if we do not try to control what we cannot control, and stop worrying about our future very very much and taking life too much seriously, then I think most of our anxieties will fade away. Because I remember Stoic philosophy, where it is said that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And what does this mean? Like, we think a problem is a huge problem, and we are crossed under it. The problem is crossing us. But in reality, that problem is such a tiny and such a easy problem. Just we are just keep ruminating it. We are thinking more and more. We are overthinking. So that small problem, uh, we feel the small problem as a big problem. So we have to see things as they are instead of magnifying them to such a great. So we shouldn't magnify them because that doesn't make any sense. Suppose if you see, I know a girl, her mom just shouted at her because she was talking to her friends all the time. So this is not a big, this is not even a problem. So her mom just screamed at her. It is not a problem, but she stopped eating because she became that my mom is always shouting at me. There were a lot of arguments. She was complaining, so her mom is very restrictive, whatever things. So I think most of our problems are not even the real problems. We just keep ruminating them. That's why we feel like we are in problem. For example, you can consider the biggest problem we think we have is the money problem. We think we have money problem. We think we are financially broken, but that's not the truth. We are, most of us have all the enough money to live a happy life, but we are very bad at managing money. We do not have financial intelligence. That's why we do not have enough money. But even if you earn more money, then you will not attain a state of total financial freedom. Suppose if you're earning 10,000 per month, you will feel like you have no money. Even if you're earning 50,000 per month, then also you will feel like you are lacking money. Even I have seen people who are earning 6 lakhs per month and even more. They too say that they have no money, they are financially broke. So here, what I'm trying to explain is that we need to understand whether the problem is actually there or not. So I think I'm just detracting from the original problem, that was how to deal with anxiety. And again, I want to repeat some of the few ideologies. I don't know, so say it the steps. If you want to overcome anxiety, because you cannot eliminate anxiety totally from your life, you can only overcome it. So the step number one is, do not do not overthink about your future very much. And second thing is, do not try to control the things you cannot control. Do not try to control things which are not in your control. Instead, see what can be done and get that thing done. And the third thing is, see things as they are. Just accept. Anxiety is not too bad as we think. Not all anxiety is bad. Anxiety is sometimes good for us. They help us to they help us to do better, to work harder. I think I have made a very long video. I have to stop now. And if you got any help from this, then you can comment me how it was. And if you want to give any suggestions, the comment box is open. But I don't want any follows, any subscribers, any likes, or any views. This is totally made to help myself to interact with the camera. That's all. Okay, bye. Have a bright future.